Hello Africa, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, my dear lovely family, brothers and sisters. There are unconfirmed reports from convincing sources that former transitional president of Burkina Faso, Paul-Henri Damiba, has been arrested and handed over to Burkina Faso authorities. The circumstances of this transfer remain to be confirmed by the authority or by the official authorities of Burkina Faso. And if confirmed, it will be marking a turning point in AES or Alliance of Sahel States and Togolese relationship, and will prove Togo's commitment to join the Alliance of Sahel States. So you remember that Damiba led Burkina Faso military government before being overthrown by Captain Ibrahim Traoré in October 2022. Then he flew to Togo, where he stayed till today, and if he is not arrested. So Damiba has been accused for sending traitors, sending mercenaries and other things, trying to overthrow and even to assassinate Captain Ibrahim Traoré. I remember last week there was a failed coup in Burkina Faso. Behind that failed coup, the one who was behind is Paul-Henri Damiba, a former transitional president of Burkina Faso. So what does this mean between Togo and the Alliance of Sahel States? And what about ECOWAS? So join with me in this video where we are going to dive deep into this matter and what will happen and why the government of Togo have decided to hand it over Paul Damiba, if it's true.
Rapidly spreading reports suggest that former Burkina Faso transitional president Paul-Henri Damiba was reportedly arrested in Lomé, expelled, and transferred back to Burkina Faso. If confirmed, this moment may represent more than just an arrest. It could signal a turning point in West African resistance against foreign-backed destabilization. For years, Africa has been treated like a chessboard. Leaders installed, leaders removed, chaos financed, resources extracted. But today, something feels different, because this time Africa is pushing back. To understand the gravity of this moment, we must understand who Paul-Henri Damiba is. In January 2022, Damiba rose to power through a military coup that removed President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore. At the time, many Burkinabe hoped change had finally arrived. The country was drowning in insecurity. Jihadist violence was spreading. Trust in civilian leadership had collapsed. But Damiba's leadership quickly disappointed. Within 8 months, conditions worsened. Territory was lost. Soldiers and civilians continued to die. And whispers began to circulate. Was Damiba truly fighting for Burkina Faso? Or was he serving foreign interests? By September 2022, the answer came swiftly. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, one of the youngest heads of state in the world, removed Damiba from power. His message was clear. Burkina Faso would no longer tolerate failure, compromise, or foreign manipulation. Traoré did not speak like a politician. He spoke like a soldier defending his homeland. He openly criticized Western interference. He rejected dependency. He aligned with African partners instead of foreign masters. And most importantly, he placed African sovereignty above international approval. That decision made him dangerous, not to Africans, but to those who profit from a weak Africa. After his removal, Damiba fled to Togo under a negotiated agreement meant to prevent bloodshed. But exile did not erase suspicion. In late 2024, Burkina Faso's military junta stripped Damiba of his rank entirely, accusing him of collusion with foreign powers. That move alone spoke volumes. Africa has seen this pattern before. Former leaders become tools. Tools become weapons. Weapons are used to destabilize nations from the shadows. And now, according to intelligence reports, Damiba may have crossed from exile into active conspiracy. According to Burkina Faso's Ministry of Security, intelligence services disrupted a major destabilization attempt planned for January 3, 2026. The allegations are explosive. Authorities claim the plot involved plans to assassinate President Ibrahim Traoré at his residence. Not protest, not political pressure, assassination. They further allege an intended strike on the country's strategic drone base, designed to weaken national defense and open the door to a foreign-backed ground invasion. Even more disturbing, officials claim recruitment and funding networks were established, with money allegedly flowing from outside Burkina Faso, including Côte d'Ivoire. If proven, this would not be politics. This would be treason against Africa itself. Here is where the story becomes bigger than Burkina Faso. If reports are confirmed that Damiba was arrested in Lomé and transferred back to Burkina Faso, then Togo made a choice. A choice between shielding destabilizers or standing with African sovereignty. Speculation is growing that Togo is considering alignment with the Alliance of Sahel States, known as AES. AES represents something radical in modern African politics. African nations choosing each other, not foreign powers, for security, cooperation, and survival. If Togo joins AES, it sends a message across the continent. Africa can defend itself. This moment matters because it exposes an uncomfortable truth. Africa's biggest enemy is not lack of resources. It is not lack of intelligence. It is betrayal from within, encouraged by forces from outside. When African leaders choose Africa first, they are attacked, discredited, sanctioned, or removed. But something has changed. The people are watching, the soldiers are questioning orders, and young leaders like Ibrahim Traoré are refusing to bow. This is not just Burkina Faso's fight. This is Africa's fight. Let this serve as a warning. Africa will no longer celebrate leaders who open the door for foreign domination. Africa will no longer protect those who sell their nations for comfort abroad. The era of silent coups and shadow wars is being exposed, and the era of African accountability is beginning. This story is still unfolding. Facts will be confirmed. Courts will decide guilt. But one thing is already clear. Africa is no longer asleep. Whether through AES, through courageous leadership, or through awakened citizens, the continent is reclaiming its voice. The question is no longer if Africa will rise. The question is who will stand with her and who will be left behind. This is Make Africa Great, and this is Africa choosing itself.
Yes, you heard a lot about Paul-Henri Damiba, the former transitional president of Burkina Faso, who has been arrested, if it's true, and handed over to the government of Burkina Faso. Damiba has been accused for planning to assassinate Captain Traore, destabilizing Burkina Faso, and I don't know the reason behind, because maybe because he was overthrown by President Traore. Maybe he want to revenge. Is this a kind of revenge, or what Damiba want? Because for many times Damiba has been accused and sending some people trying to overthrow the government of Traore, trying to assassinate Traore. And recently you heard people came out and speaking the truth that they were sent by Damiba and plotting coup and trying to assassinate Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Because I don't know what Africans we want. And if it's true we want changes, if we got someone, or we have someone who brought changes, why we need to replace him? Why we want to assassinate Traore? Because we see Traore, he's doing very well. He's performing well. Why we want to overthrow Traore? So family, brothers and sisters, maybe you have reason behind, or you have something. Can you share with us what do you think? Why Damiba is trying to overthrow Captain Ibrahim Traore? But behind the scenes, there are some rumors that Damiba is being used by France, and France want Burkina, not just Burkina, France want resources in Sahel. So they're trying to find the way how they can break up the Alliance of Sahel States. They want to overthrow these governments to put puppet leaders. You know, if Damiba will become a president of Burkina Faso again, it will withdraw Burkina Faso from the Alliance of Sahel States. The thing that these big nations such as France want, they have tried to convince President Goïta to withdraw from the Alliance of Sahel States so that the Alliance of Sahel States can become weak and to be easier for them to attack it. So the mission here is to break or to divide the Alliance of Sahel States. And that's why they're trying their best to remove Traore and to remove President Goïta. You may ask yourself, why Traore? Why Traore? Why Traore? You know, one thing that Traore has, Traore is a visionary leader. Traore is a think tank and is idea generator. That's why they want to overthrow him. And if you are familiar with what is going on in the Alliance of Sahel States, in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger, you can understand that the engineer of ideas, or an engineer of idea, is Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Traoré is a big thinker, is idea generator. And these people, they know, and they're so smart. They know someone who is bright, and they know stupid people also. So they see that if this man Traoré will remain in power, Traoré will teach Africa to be independent. Traoré will teach Africa to control their resources, because what Traoré is doing is a lesson into the rest of the continent of Africa. So let us try to remove this man. And how can we try to remove that man? Is to use his people, to use the people of Burkina Faso, those who already have been in the government, those who maybe are in working services, to destabilize Burkina Faso. That's what they're doing. So as Africans, we need to support this young man, young leader, visionary, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. If you don't do so, brothers and sisters, they will take away Traoré and they will come out and say, you see, these Africans, they cannot govern themselves. The way right now you see people are talking about Somalia. You know, one day I was watching on television Trump speaking about Somalia, that this is a shithole country. And they don't have police, they can't police, they're policing themselves. That's how Trump defines Somalia. Not because Somalia is, maybe the people of Somalia are not doing very well, no, because Somalia has been destabilized. So the same to right now you see in Sudan, they will speak the same, that the people of Sudan are terrorist, people are fighting each other, they don't want peace, but that's not the reality. Africans, we have been contradicted and sometimes drop into the war because of Western interests. And this Western power, they use Africans. They're not coming to fight with us. They use Africans to fight for their interests. And that's why I remember the song of Bob Marley, Buffalo Soldier, that's taken from Africa to America, fight for survival, fight for, yeah, that's how it's happening. So family, brothers and sisters, if you have something to share with us, please do so through the comment section. But in reality, that's what is happening in Burkina Faso and Togo. Of course, we are waiting for the confirmation information, and if it's true Damiba has been arrested, it will be a good move. And we see destabilization is going to it's going at least to be reduced, because if we continue to have people who are sending people trying to assassinate leaders, it's not okay. And that's why I understand why Niger rejected to release President Bazoum. You know why? Because they know very well that if they release Bazoum know many things and can be used by puppets, by traitors and these exploiters to destabilize Niger. So that's what's going on. Family, brothers and sisters, let us not take too much time to talk about it. We are waiting for more information from the authorities of Burkina Faso. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make Africa great. Thank you, freedom. Thank you, Afrika.